Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is your favorite show, Daily Calls, a show that addresses all your stock-related queries. And now, in case you're watching us for the very first time, this is where we get top market experts to help you with all the stock-related queries that you may have from your portfolio or any stocks that are coming on your watch list, especially at a time when the markets are falling like 9 pins. Any and every question that you have regarding the stock markets is something that you can send us via this WhatsApp number. Don't forget to mention your name, your location and your contact details. And now it's time to welcome our guest on board. We have Sneha Podar, Vice President, Research Analyst of Motilal Oswal Financial Services, joining right in. Warm welcome to you, Sneha, and thank you so much for taking the time out. But markets are definitely not looking good at all. 250 points nearly gone. We are now looking at 24,150 odd levels on the Nifty, 50,603 on the Nifty Bank. It's almost 930 point kind of a cut on the Nifty Bank as well. A percent loss for the benchmarks. The Nifty Bank is down by 1.7%. The broader markets are even looking more ugly than this. When we look at the mid and the small caps, they've lost nearly 2% in trade right now. Mid caps have entered into a correction zone. They're down 10% from the record high levels. The Nifty is also down 8% from its record high levels as well. Sneha, this is the time when I'm sure your phone must not be stopping to ring from the customers, worried clients at this point in time. Tell me, how are you looking at this sharp fall which seems to have no bottom in place right now?
Sure. Good afternoon, Sakshi. It's very true that the phone is continuously ringing. Actually, we're getting a lot of portfolios for the restructuring. The clients are really worried as to, where should we exit? What should be the strategy? Should we move to large cap or should we stick with mid cap, small cap? So there's a lot of queries. One thing people have to understand that everyone agrees that the valuation were a little stretched. Everyone was
Yes.
waiting for a correction, and now the correction is happening. So rather than panicking, one should use this as an opportunity. Even like for traders, I would suggest this is a time to trade a little less and move more towards building your portfolio, a long-term portfolio. Once the market revives, you can again go back to trading, but at least use this opportunity to build a portfolio for your long term. This correction has come after a very long time. I mean, almost after 18 to 24 months that we've seen such kind of a correction, and it's a healthy correction, which a couple of factors are suggesting that this correction is required. So one should actually ideally make use of it. So that's my suggestion. Probably here the correction is not likely to stop. Probably a few 2-3% more correction is likely in the indices. But then, having said that, on the stock specific front, there has been many stocks which has corrected more than 20-30%. So one needs to review the fundamentals, and if the fundamentals are good, one can actually make use of this opportunity to enter those stocks. So it's a more of stock specific call that one has to take rather than looking at the index perspective.
Okay, got it. So that's the view that is coming in. All right, Sneha. What we will also do is start to take some of the questions from our viewers. The first query is already come in for us. This is Yadgir, Karnataka. And no, this is a place in Karnataka, Yadgir. And the person is called Nagesh. And he's writing in to say that is it the right time to invest in MIC Electronics at the current price of around 85 if one has a long term view of 5 to 6 years odd. How would you really look at MIC Electronics? Do you think that in the falling market like this, if someone has an absolute long term, this warrants attention?
Okay. So see, one can look at the MIC Electronics because it's into the electronic manufacturing space, basically. That space is a booming space. There's a lot of opportunity which is there. The government has come out with various reforms and the PLI scheme. So one and the company is good. So one can definitely make use of this correction to enter into this stock if you have a long term view. So since a client over, the investor over here is mentioning that they are he's looking from a 5 to 7 year perspective, then it makes sense to enter into the stock. But one can enter into in a staggered manner rather than entering at one go.
Okay, got it. We have the next caller with us from Mumbai. Kalpesh Patel is joining in on the phone line. Hi Kalpesh, good afternoon. कैसे हैं आप?
मैं एकदम बढ़िया हूँ। आप कैसे हो मैम?
मैं ठीक हूँ, बताइए क्या सवाल है आपका?
मैम मैंने इंडस टावर का फ्यूचर बाय किया हुआ है एट द रेट 380, और ये कुछ इसमें गवर्नमेंट कुछ डेटा सेंटर पे कुछ वर्क आउट कर रही है, और ये अभी आज आज में 200 सिंपल मूविंग एवरेज जो टच करके थोड़ा बाउंस बैक करने की ट्राई कर रहा है, और इसमें न्यूज भी है कि भारतीय एयरटेल का भी ये सब्सिडरी बन गई है। तो मुझे जानना है कि इसमें क्या बाउंस बैक कभी तक आ सकता है, 500-600 रुपए का लेवल कब तक आ सकता है, और नंबर ये आइडिया का शेयर खरीदूं या वो पैसे का उससे मैं वड़ा पाव खा लूं?
ओके, वड़ा पाव खा लें या फिर आइडिया का शेयर खरीद ले टेलीकॉम स्पेस से, ये सवाल है क्योंकि वो इतना नीचे आ चुका है प्राइस की समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कि क्या बेहतर रहेगा। देखिए, अगर पेट पूजा करनी है तो वड़ा पाव खा लीजिए, और अगर शेयर मार्केट में खरीदना है तो देखना पड़ेगा कि ये शेयर वाकई में इस प्राइस पर देखने लायक है भी, या फिर आपको कुछ ऑल्टरनेटिव्स देखने पड़ेंगे। स्नेहा जी बताइए पहले तो इंडस टावर्स के ऊपर जहाँ पर ये फ्यूचर बाय किया हुआ है उन्होंने, और 380 के लेवल पर नवंबर एक्सपायरी के लिए, यहाँ क्या सलाह देना चाहेंगी? और दूसरा टेलीकॉम स्पेस से कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग स्टॉक टिप्स।
ओके, सिर्फ दोनों ही इंडस एंड टावर और आइडिया पे एक तो मेरा व्यू थोड़ा नेगेटिव है, बिकॉज इंडस एंड टावर का काफी कुछ रिलाई करता है आइडिया के ऊपर, बिकॉज आइडिया से उन्हें फंड फ्लोज आते हैं। तो और आइडिया खुद एक टर्मोइल में फंसा हुआ है, अभी भी बहुत ज्यादा क्लैरिटी नहीं है कि वो उस सिचुएशन से निकल पाएगा कि नहीं निकल पाएगा। तो मेरी सलाह है कि ये दोनों ही काउंटर को एक्चुअली अवॉइड करना चाहिए, सो बेटर टू एग्जिट। और अगर आपको टेलीकॉम इंडस्ट्री प्ले करना है तो उसमें आप भारती एयरटेल को देखें, जो कि कंसिस्टेंटली मार्केट शेयर गेन भी कर रहा है, एंड काफी इन्वेस्टमेंट्स कर रहा है टू मूव टुवर्ड्स 5G एंड वैल्यू एडेड प्रोडक्ट्स। तो एक कंसिस्टेंट प्लेयर के तौर पे भारती एयरटेल ही एक स्टॉक बनेगा जहां पे आप लॉन्ग टर्म आराम से माने आप स्टिक करके रह सकते हो।
ओके, गॉट इट। नेक्स्ट हमारे पास सवाल आया है, ये सवाल है अंकुर मोदी का। ये जयपुर से हैं और लिखते हैं, हेलो साक्षी, कुड यू प्लीज सजेस्ट सम फंडामेंटली गुड स्टॉक्स टू बाय इन दिस कंटिन्यूअस फॉल इन द मार्केट्स। नाउ दिस इज गुड दैट इन्वेस्टर्स स्टिल हैव कॉन्फिडेंस इन द लॉन्ग टर्म ग्रोथ स्टोरी ऑफ द इंडियन मार्केट्स एंड दे बिलीव दैट दिस डाउनटर्न also will pass sooner or later. But at this point in time, Sneha, if someone really wants to invest in good stocks at good prices and do bottom fishing, any key stocks that you would advise?
See, we are really bullish on certain sectors, जैसे कि फाइनेंशियल्स वगैरह। तो फाइनेंशियल्स में
Yeah.
आपको एसबीआई सजेस्ट करूंगी, जो कि वैल्यूएशन बहुत ही कंफर्टेबल लेवल पे है, और उसने रैली में पार्टिसिपेट ही नहीं किया था, रिजल्ट्स उसके काफी ठीक ठाक ही है। सो एसबीआई में काफी कंफर्ट है हमारा। फिर कुछ मैं बूमिंग सेक्टर्स की बात करूंगी, जैसे कि पावर है। सो पावर नेक्स्ट 5 years में देयर इज ट्रेमेंडस अपॉर्चुनिटी, बिकॉज डिमांड सप्लाई मिसमैच है। तो वहां पे टाटा पावर पे वी आर क्वाइट बुलिश। फिर ईएमएस इंडस्ट्री एक काफी पोटेंशियल होल्ड करती, काफी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग की तरफ डेफिनेटली ये कंट्री मूव करी। सो जैसे जैसे डिजिटलाइजेशन बढ़ेगा, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक यूसेज बढ़ेगा, सो पोटेंशियल बहुत है इस सेगमेंट में। सो आप या तो केन्स, अंबर या डिक्सन में से कुछ भी देख सकते हो। इनमें अच्छा खासा करेक्शन हुआ बिकॉज ऑफ दी वैल्यूएशन फैक्टर्स, तो इनमें अच्छी खासी प्रॉफिट बुकिंग हमें देखने को मिली। तो अब अच्छे लेवल्स पे ये अवेलेबल है। और इसके अलावा आप कंज्यूमर डिस्क्रिशनरी में ज्वेलरी सेगमेंट देख सकते हो मिड साइज, जैसे कि कल्याण ज्वेलर्स। सो ये कुछ सेगमेंट्स हैं जो कि मैं सजेस्ट करूंगी। और लास्टली, हाँ, कैपिटल मार्केट थीम एक डेफिनेटली थीम नेक्स्ट फ्यू इयर्स में प्ले आउट होगा। ऑलरेडी वो प्ले आउट हो चुके, बट नेक्स्ट 5 to 10 years ये अभी भी प्ले आउट होने बाकी है।
Okay, got it. Sneha, another question that's coming in. In fact, we have a caller with us, and that's from Indore. Ankush is dialed in. Hi, Ankush. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, ma'am. I have 1,000 shares of NBCC of rate 100 and 1,000 shares of NMDC of rate 225. I can wait for 2-3 years. What should I do? I should wait or book out losses?
Okay. NTPC and NMDC both are there on your portfolio. And what should be the horizon? So, horizon is about 2-3 years, but should one continue to hold on, or is there also an advice to accumulate at the current levels, Neha?
Okay. I'll advise him to accumulate at the current levels because, see, in case of NTPC, as I mentioned, obviously it's a beneficiary of the power sector opportunity which is there. So all the companies are moving towards the renewable energy, and even
Yeah.
NTPC is part of it. So I mean, these companies will definitely benefit. In fact, NTPC is I mean, almost I think 30-40% of the portfolio comes from the renewable side, and they're further making aggressive moves. So yes, definitely that counter one can look at. The numbers were weak, so probably there would be more profit booking that we might see. So at lower levels, he can accumulate. In case of NMDC, with the China central bank announcing various stimulus, so the demand is expected to, overall, the global demand is expected to get support from it. And further, the prices which were falling, they have somehow found the bottom, and now they are likely to revive with the revival in the demand. So my suggestion would be to accumulate these stocks at the lower levels if you get the opportunity, and hold on to them.
ओके, होल्ड ऑन टू देम, दैट्स द व्यू दैट इज़ कमिंग इन। एक बहुत ही अच्छी बात, अभी हमारी एक रेगुलर व्यूअर हैं स्नेहा नमिता अरोरा, इनका जन्मदिवस भी था कल, और बहुत बहुत बधाई आपको नमिता, एक बार फिर आपके जन्मदिन के लिए। ये मार्केट की सिचुएशन को देखकर अक्सर काफ़ी परेशान हो जा रही हैं, दो तीन दिनों से लगातार हमें लिख रही हैं अलग अलग चीज़ें, और इससे इनका लेवल गेज कर पा रहे हैं कि आज कितना डिसअपॉइंटमेंट है, कल एक बार और डिसअपॉइंटमेंट, तो लेवल भी बढ़ता चला जा रहा है मार्केट्स की डिसअपॉइंटमेंट को देखते हुए। तो आज इन्होंने एक दो लाइनें कही हैं, वो मैं इनकी दोहरा देती हूँ सभी दर्शकों के लिए भी। कह रहे हैं कि आई रिकॉल एन ओल्ड सेइंग, किस किस को देखिए किस किस को रोइए, आराम बड़ी चीज़ है, मुंह ढक के सोइए। तो नमिता, आपको पता ही है कि करना क्या है, जब आपने लिख ही दिया है कि अब मार्केट में कहीं पर भी देखकर कुछ सेविंग रेस तो दिख नहीं रहा है, तो मुंह ढकिए, सोइए, चिल करिए, वेकेशन पे जाइए। मैंने तो आपको 2 हफ्ते पहले भी कहा था नमिता कि मैं अपनी वेकेशन पे हो आई हूँ, अब आप भी वेकेशन पे चले जाइए, अपने फैमिली के साथ फेस्टिव सीजन एंजॉय करिए, ये डाउन टर्न भी निकल जाएगा। आपको रोज़ाना देखने की ज़रूरत नहीं है बाज़ार में, अगर आप अच्छे बढ़िया स्टॉक्स में हैं तो आप अगर और लिक्विडिटी है तो जैसे स्नेहा बता रही हैं, जहाँ जहाँ पर आपको अक्यूमुलेट करना है आप करिए, नहीं तो आप अपना फेस्टिव सीजन के ऊपर फोकस करिए। अगला सवाल लेते हैं, हमारे पास ये सवाल आया है। अभिषेक कुमार कहते हैं, थैंक यू स्नेहा मैम फॉर recommending कल्याण ज्वेलर्स, यू मस्ट हैव recommended in one of our earlier shows, so he is writing in to thank you on that note, and he also wants to know whether he can accumulate at the current levels. What would you suggest?
Yes, he can accumulate at the current levels because जैसे कि मैंने कहा कि कल्याण ज्वेलर्स के फंडामेंटल्स काफ़ी स्ट्रॉन्ग है, एंड इनफैक्ट कंपनी ने बहुत ही स्ट्रॉन्ग प्री क्वार्टरली अपडेट्स भी रिलीज की थी, बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग एक्सपेंशन प्लान्स है। सो बेसिकली कल्याण ज्वेलर्स, जो कि पहले काफ़ी साउथ फोकस था, अब कंपनी पैन इंडिया प्रेजेंस क्रिएट करने की कोशिश कर रही है। एंड इन लोग नए नए वेंचर्स में दे आर ट्राइंग टू, सो बेसिकली with the gold prices being up, so they are trying to be more creative and come out with more value for money kind of products. So Kalyan Jewelers mein we are still very bullish, and I would really recommend to accumulate at the lower levels.
ओके, गॉट इट। अगला सवाल लेते हैं, ये सवाल है अवधेश ठाकुर का। ये आईआरबी इंफ्रा पे फ्रेश एंट्री लेना चाह रहे हैं मीडियम टर्म में, क्या आप देखना चाहेंगे आईआरबी इंफ्रा को? एक तरफा इसमें चाल दिखी थी पहले, फिर लगातार ये स्टॉक एक कंसोलिडेशन में गया और इस गिरावट में अब ये 50 रुपये पर भी आ चुका है। क्या ये लेवल्स लुक्रेटिव लग रहे हैं या फिर अभी भी इससे दूर रहना चाहिए?
Okay. See, IRB इंफ्रा, आई मीन ऑब्वियसली तो मार्केट फॉल के साथ गिरा ही है, बट एक और रीजन ये भी है कि गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से थोड़े से ऑर्डर्स आने भी थोड़े से स्लो हो गए थे बिकॉज ऑफ द इलेक्शन एंड द बजट एंड एवरीथिंग, एंड अभी भी स्टेट इलेक्शंस है। सो वंस दी स्टेट इलेक्शंस गेट्स ओवर इन नवंबर, पोस्ट दैट the fresh order inflow activity will start from the government. So obviously when a company like IRB Infra will get benefited, and moreover first half in terms of execution थोड़ा slow रहता है because of the monsoon and everything. So second half is stronger in terms of execution. So numbers भी आने better हो जाएंगे. And IRB has a very good asset of roads जहाँ पे उन्हें continuous cash flow generate होता है through tolls. So ये already cash cow company है and they are very selective in bidding for the projects. So जो भी projects के लिए bid करते हैं काफी quality projects रहती है यहाँ पे पोटेंशियल काफी हाई रहता है इन टर्म्स ऑफ टोल कलेक्शन. सो मेरी सलाह है आप इस लेवल पे आप एंटर करिए. आगे H2 शुड बी गुड फॉर दैट.
ओके, गॉट इट. संवित नागेश्वर लिख रहे हैं और ये पूछना चाहते हैं IRFC पर कैन आई टेक अ फ्रेश एंट्री एट द करंट लेवल्स फॉर द लॉन्ग टर्म. रेलवे स्टॉक्स में भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा गिरावट हमने इस रीसेंट करेक्शन में देखी है, पर क्या इस गिरावट के बाद ये स्टॉक्स अट्रैक्टिवली वैल्यूड लग रहे हैं या फिर अभी कोई ज़्यादा विजिबिलिटी नहीं नज़र आ रही है इम्प्रूवमेंट की तरह?
ओके. सो इन टर्म्स ऑफ वैल्यूएशन ये थोड़े अट्रैक्टिव हो गए हैं बट समहाउ रेलवे सेक्टर में अगर आप देखेंगे तो ऑर्डर्स स्लो डाउन हो गए और कहीं ना कहीं एग्जीक्यूशन में भी थोड़े क्वेश्चन मार्क्स आ रहे हैं. सो आई मीन व्हाट इज हैपनिंग कि कंपनीज ने जो ऑर्डर बुक बिल्ड किया है लास्ट 1 to 2 years में वहां पे भी हमें बहुत ज्यादा प्रॉपर एग्जीक्यूशन दिखाई नहीं दिया जो कि कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्डिंग करे. एंड प्लस गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से भी कहीं ना कहीं थोड़ा सा फोकस रेलवे सेक्टर पे कम हो गया. सो कीपिंग दैट इन माइंड आई वुड सजेस्ट टू स्टे अवे फॉर सम टाइम टिल वी फर्दर गेट द क्लैरिटी. प्रॉब्ली वो बजट के अराउंड थोड़ा सा वापस सेक्टर न्यूज में आने लगेगा कि गवर्नमेंट का क्या एक्चुअली रेलवे सेक्टर को लेके नजरिया है आगे जाके. सो देन प्रॉब्ली विल बी द राइट टाइम टू एक्चुअली रीअसेस द सेक्टर.
ओके, गॉट इट. नेक्स्ट हमारे पास सवाल आया है प्रियदर्शनी राउत का. ये पूछना चाह रहे हैं टीसीएस और एमएनएम दोनों पर इनके पास पोजीशंस ऑलरेडी हैं. टीसीएस खरीदा हुआ है 4350 पर एंड शी इज होल्डिंग एमएनएम एट 2990. नाउ शी हैज ओनली अ 2 month व्यू. Where do you think should she continue to hold on to reap benefit? And where do you think one should be adding? TCS and M&M, these are the two stocks, and M&M has been now falling about 4.5% lower at 2700 now. Her purchase price is almost 3000.
Okay. Actually we are positive on both the companies but अगर उन्हें एक में position add करना है तो TCS I would suggest because overall IT sector में numbers काफी decent आ रहे हैं. So the sector is in flavor and they are likely to perform because anyways they had corrected a lot and from the bottom they are actually like you know they are recovering. So इनमें अभी भी काफी scope बाकी है. In terms of auto अगर हम बात करें तो M&M is the best placed among the entire auto pack. So वहाँ पे we are bullish because उनका SUV segment भी अच्छा कर रहा है and at the same time post healthy monsoon the tractor segment should also see a good recovery. But having said that overall auto space में somehow sentiments थोड़े down है because ग्रोथ काफी मॉडरेट हो गई है. समहाउ डिस्काउंट्स बढ़ गए हैं, डिमांड थोड़ी कम हो गई है. तो कहीं ना कहीं पूरे सेक्टर को लेके सेंटिमेंट्स हुए ठंडे. तो शायद M&M माइट नॉट परफॉर्म बट TCS शी कैन टेक अ बेट ऑन.
Okay, got it. Next, we have question from Pawan KV. He wants to know on BEL. He has bought the stock at 275. Now, what should he do? He has a 1 year horizon. Again, defense has been a big dampener in this downturn. Many of the stocks have lost 35, 40, even 50% in many cases. Some of these stocks that were, riding a one-way rally. How should you advise on BEL particularly, which has again been one of the top performers within defense?
Okay, BL, I feel probably a very little downside is there for this stock at the current levels. So one can hold on to it or probably add at these levels. So I feel it should not go down below 225, 230 kind of levels. That's the maximum downside that I'm seeing currently. Now, so defense sector has definitely been out of flavor, but then continuously there are news flows with regards to government giving out orders, and it's just a matter of time the sector will again come back in flavor. So since the investor has a 1 year kind of view, so I would suggest to stick to the stock. The stock will definitely bounce back.
Okay, got it. Let's go across to next caller. Now Simran from Odisha is with us on the phone line. नमस्कार सिमरन, कैसी हैं आप?
मैम
जी पूछिए,
मैम आई हैव अ डाउट।
कौन सा स्टॉक?
मुझे 20,000 इन्वेस्ट करना है 10 इयर्स के लिए। मैं कहाँ इन्वेस्ट करूँ, JSW इंफ्रा या जियो फाइनेंशियल में?
ओके ठीक है, आपका सवाल है
ओके,
कि
मुझे और एक
20,000
डाउट
रुपए।
भी है।
जी
हाँ,
जी,
मुझे
मैं आपको
MIC इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स क्या फ्यूचर मल्टी बैगलर हो सकता है?
जी, मुझे आपका जो सवाल है वो पता चला। खास तौर पर 20,000 रुपये आप निवेश करना चाहती हैं, अगले 10 साल के लिए निवेश करना चाहती हैं और दो स्टॉक्स आपने अपने लिए चुने हैं। ये पता करना चाहती हैं कि इन दोनों में से किसी एक स्टॉक में आप निवेश कर सकती हैं क्या। पहला इन्होंने जियो फाइनेंशियल चुना है स्नेहा, और दूसरा JSW इंफ्रा। 20,000 रुपये 10 साल के लिए, इन दोनों में से कौन से शेयर में निवेश करने की सलाह देंगी?
ओके, दोनों ही स्टॉक अच्छे हैं, बट आई वुड से जियो फाइनेंशियल में वो कर सकती है। जियो फाइनेंशियल सिंस रिलायंस मैंने ग्रुप का है, एंड जियो फाइनेंशियल की अगर हम बात करें तो काफ़ी सेवरल प्रोडक्ट्स में दे हैव अनाउंस देयर एंट्री, और कुछ में उन्होंने ऑलरेडी टाइप कर लिए हैं, फॉरेन कोलैबोरेशंस भी कर ली है। इट्स अ मैटर ऑफ टाइम कि उन्हें कब रेगुलेटरी अप्रूवल मिल जाता है, एंड देन दी रेवेन्यू विल स्टार्ट किकिंग इन। ऑलरेडी AMC में ब्लैक रॉक के साथ उनकी बातचीत चल रही है। वैसे इंश्योरेंस एंड हर फाइनेंशियल क्षेत्र में इनकी कोलैबोरेशंस चालू है। सो अगर 10 साल का व्यू है तो जियो फाइनेंशियल मैं सजेस्ट करूंगी कि वो इन्वेस्ट करें उसमें, बिकॉज उसमें अल्फा जनरेट होने के चांसेस हायर है।
ओके गॉट इट। अगला सवाल ले लेते हैं। ये सवाल हमारे पास आया है अर्चना साहू का, और ये पूछना चाह रही हैं गोल्डियम इंटरनेशनल में फ्रेश एंट्री लेना चाह रही हैं करंट लेवल्स पर। तो गोल्डियम अभी आपको कैसा लगता है कि ये स्टॉक लंबी अवधि के लिए खरीदा जा सकता है करंट लेवल्स पर?
गोल्डियम मैं ट्रैक नहीं करती हूँ, तो मेरा कोई व्यू नहीं है इस पे।
श्योर। नेक्स्ट मोना बत्रा का सवाल है, ये टाटा पावर और कोरोमंडल इंटरनेशनल पर पूछना चाह रही हैं। टाटा पावर और कोरोमंडल में शॉर्ट टर्म के लिए ही निवेश करना है इनको। कहीं पर अगर आपको नज़र आए कि जहां पर ज़्यादा रिस्क ना हो और शॉर्ट टर्म के नज़रिए से, और वहां निवेश कर सकें।
ओके, सो फिर कोरोमंडल आई वुड सजेस्ट टू अवॉइड, बिकॉज कहीं ना कहीं कोरोमंडल में प्राइसिंग प्रेशर अभी भी दिख रहा है बिकॉज ऑफ द चाइनीज डंपिंग। So that is expected to continue for next 1 or 2 quarters, and even fertilizers overall segment की जो revenue थी स्पेशली फर्स्ट हाफ में कहीं ना कहीं वो काफी subdued थी, और आउटलुक भी कंपनी ने कोई बहुत पॉजिटिव नहीं दिया। सो कोरोमंडल आई वुड क्लियरली से अवॉइड। टाटा पावर वो कर सकती है, बिकॉज सी मार्केट काफी वॉलेटाइल है, सो इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू से कि शॉर्ट टर्म में परफॉर्म करेगा नहीं
That's true.
कि नहीं करेगा, बट देन डेफिनेटली अगर वो शॉर्ट टर्म में नहीं करता है तो उसमें कोई रिस्क नहीं है। आप लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए उसको 1 साल के लिए होल्ड करेंगे तो उनमें उसमें पैसा बनेगा, बट वो क्लियर विनर है पावर सेक्टर बूम के लिए।
ओके गॉट इट। एक आखिरी सवाल लेते हैं शो पर राज ने आपके साथ। ये संवित लिख रहे हैं और ये पूछना चाहते हैं एक्साइड इंडस्ट्रीज में, कैन आई टेक अ फ्रेश एंट्री ऑन एक्साइड इंडस्ट्रीज? नाउ वी डू नो दैट अराउंड इलेक्शन टाइम we had seen the battery space stocks really were up in fire, and these stocks were actually creating a lot of wealth within a short period of time for investors, but in this downturn they have cooled off a bit. Do you think right now is the right time to look at these stocks for the long term?
ओके, हाँ, सो अगर वो लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए देख रहे हैं तो डेफिनेटली एक्साइड देख सकते हैं, बिकॉज अभी एक्चुअली प्रॉब्लम क्या हो रहा है इन कंपनीज के साथ कि थोड़े रॉ मटेरियल प्रेशर फेस कर रहे हैं। सो थोड़े बहुत नतीजे इनके मिक्स टाइप्स आए हैं, सो दे माइट continue to face the raw material pressure probably for one more quarter, but since the investor is asking from a long term perspective, so I would suggest to actually make an entry at the current levels.
Okay, got it. Well, Sneha, we'll wrap it up at that. Thank you so much for being with us on this edition to help all our viewers really navigate through this extreme volatility as well as sharp downturn that we are seeing in the markets right now. Nearly 300 points now down. We are at the lowest point of the day, 24,119 now on the Nifty. Sneha, any idea how much more downside should one be prepared for from here?
Okay, so since November month has a lot many events lined up, so probably we might see a lot volatility in this month, and the markets might go below 24,000 as well. So
Yeah.
we have to be prepared for that kind of levels as well. Nobody knows the levels, but yeah, one can be prepared for such kind of levels as well.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you so much then, Sneha, for being with us on this very special edition. Truly appreciate your time with us. Thank you so much. Hope you have a fantastic Diwali up ahead until the time we meet you next. Hope you have a fantastic time too, and we hope that the markets also recover soon. With that, viewers, we'll wrap it up on that note on this edition of Daily Calls. This is an action-packed day for you. Markets are down, and therefore we have decided that we will be getting you top market masters of India to really help you through this kind of a downturn. How are they assessing this fall? Is there more to go? Or is it too much done already in the markets, and what should be your approach in the markets? In case you want to know that, then you should stay tuned with Business Today Television. 1 p.m. onwards, we have our festive special discussions coming in with topmost market experts. Don't miss out on that one. We'll be back with you shortly. Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is the earnings special edition. Our focus is on Syngene's Q2 earnings. The company's earnings have come in a decline of top line revenue by about just 2.1% year on year and a profit drop of about 8.9%. But what we've seen is that the company is looking at some positive trends with some of the segments, including the discovery services as well. What we've also given to understand is that the operating income has also seen a 32% nearly sequential improvement, but it has fallen by about 19%. Largely, it's in line with the management's own expectations and a stable set of growth that we have seen. Some management transitions have also been announced for Q2 as well. Let's welcome the top management of Syngene to share with us some of the key highlights from the quarterly earnings as well as an outlook going forward from here. Let's welcome Mr. Jonathan Hunt, who's the CEO of Syngene. Warm welcome to you, sir, and thank you so much for taking the time out. At the outset, I'd like to wish you season's greetings and a very happy Diwali and a new year going forward from here too. Hope it turns out to be a fantastic year for you, for your team at large, as also for your loved ones as well. So many thanks for joining in onto this one. And let's start off by understanding how have you assessed the quarterly earnings?
On plan. That's probably the most gratifying thing is at the beginning of the year, we set out guidance on revenue and margins, and we gave an outlook for the full year that said we expected to grow. But we were really clear in saying it would be a year of two halves. The first half would be muted, maybe down a little bit, and then the second half would be set for much better growth. And at the halfway point, that's exactly how it looked. So feeling good that we called the shape of the year, and that means we've got a good handle on the underlying drivers in the industry and our business. And then the outlook, if you back calculate into our guidance, suggests the second half of the year is going to see some pretty good.
Okay. Mr. Hunt, you did talk about those signs of recovery in the discovery services. So could you explain more on the factors which would drive this recovery and how do you expect this trend to continue in the second half particularly?
Yeah, well, look at one segment of our business. We serve the US biotech companies, and they're often driven by their ability to access new capital, new funding, and the indicators there are that's stabilized. It had dropped quite a lot over the last 18 months, but it's now had a few months sequentially of looking stable. Looks like it did pre-pandemic, so we're back to about 2017 or so from a funding environment. Back then, we thought that was quite a healthy environment. So I think that puts a nice floor underneath the sort of funding environment. And now it's much more firm specific. Can individual firms raise the capital they need, and how quickly does that flow through to them spending it with service providers when it comes? But it's looking better. A little bit early to sort of declare victory on it, but it's certainly a healthier environment than it was just 6 months ago.
Okay. You also highlighted that the biologics manufacturing capacity will now expand in the second half of the year. So could you share more details on how will this lead to an impact on the top line and the market positioning that you have?
Sure. I mean, the financial elements baked into our guidance for this year and for future years we'll talk about at the full year results, but it's headroom for growth. I mean, we did an acquisition, as you know, in December of last year, buying what we called Unit 3 from Stellus. We said it would take us a number of quarters to upgrade that, invest in it, get it up to the standard that we wanted it in terms of being a monoclonal antibody production facility. Recall it had been designed to do vaccines, and we wanted to redirect that towards antibodies. It's all going well, actually. It's an engineering project so far this year, but they're on time, on budget, and coming in as we expected. So that really gives us capacity for the next 5 years, next few years. It's very much heading.
Also, Mr. Hunt, we've seen the EBITDA margins narrow slightly in Q2. Tell us, what are the levers at hand for you? What cost optimization measures would you be taking to maintain profitability, particularly given the growing investments in R&D and biologics as well?
Yeah, I think it's more a growth operating leverage story in the second half. As we rebound back into some healthy top line growth through the second half, naturally within the business there's quite a nice operating leverage. The guidance we gave is that full year margins would be around what we saw last year, and that implies pretty healthy operating leverage in the second half.
Okay, and you also have mentioned that many biopharma clients are now looking for alternatives to China with China Plus One strategy. Tell us, how is Syngene positioning itself to capitalize on this shift in the global supply chains right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's the fundamentals. Have you got the scientific capability? Can you offer the service levels they want? Do you have the infrastructure, people, and capacity? And from that point of view, I think we're well positioned. But and I'd caution you, or at least try and put a frame around it. I think that's a 5-year trend. That's not just a trend for the second half.
Right. And, apart from this, you're also seeing increasing interest in from your clients in biologics and even in the CDMO services. Could you share some insights on any key partnerships and how they could be driving future growth from this one? Any plans in the pipeline that you want to probably share with us?
Well, the general sense, and you can see it by back calculating into our guidance, is that the second half should see a good return to growth, operating leverage through the margins. And we've given you some soft indicators during the last couple of quarters of commentary. The number of client inspections and audits has gone up year over year by about 35%. The number of client visits has gone up. Customers coming in, actually looking boots on the ground at our capabilities, and the number of RFPs bid on is going up. So it's all three align in the same direction, which is a improving environment, one that I think was good growth in the second half.
Right. Could you also share with us your plans and your focus on the advanced therapies as cell and gene therapy now? Any newer capabilities that you have built already that would definitely push you ahead in the field of biologics, and any innovative drug discovery areas that you're looking at?
Yeah, if you look at where we spend our money, that always tells you something. So the CapEx plan for the year was $60 million. We've invested about 40% of that in the first half, and it's gone across research, development, and manufacturing. I think there's some interesting investments we're making in the earlier stages in discovery around ADCs, around peptides, around oligonucleotides. They're infill capabilities for us because we've established good capability there. But there are areas, I think, across the industry you're seeing rising interest
And also, Mr. Hunt, beyond the current fiscal year as well, if we look, how does Syngene plan to ensure sustainable growth in this competitive biopharma market? As there's a lot of players that are now coming in from globally acclaimed players too.
I think you just got to be good at what you do. It's around scientific capability, people, and that ability to bring great service. And we've got a pretty good track record there. I don't think competition is something that should deter you. It's a healthy environment.
We've also heard from you on the change in management and leadership this time around. Any new approaches that we can expect in both financial and scientific strategies under the new leadership? Could you also share with us how will things change now from here?
Well, sure. I mean, financially, I'd be very happy to see continuity. I think Sibaji's done a great job in his time with us over the last 5 years. We've seen some real progress in many of the things that are hidden inside a business but make a difference. So supply chain, some of our approaches to planning. So more of the same would be, I think, a very healthy indicator. And it's an element of continuity. Deepak's already on the staff. It's an internal promotion. I think it will be pretty seamless. On the other announcement we made around creating a new role of the exec team, Chief Scientific Officer, getting into it's delighted to see staff coming through and taking bigger roles. I think that just reflects the maturity of the company, becoming ever more innovative and having the bandwidth of the exec team to really think about that strategically and be very helpful.
Well, on that note, thank you so much, Mr. Hunt, for being with us on this show to share with us some of the key insights from these earnings as well as an outlook going forward. Thank you so much. Always appreciate to speak to you. And we hope to see you soon on Business Today Television around the next corner and after the festivities as well. Many thanks for being with us.
Thank you and happy Diwali to you.
Thank you so much. Wish you the same, sir. And with that, viewers, we'll wrap it up at that. This was Syngene's top management sharing with us what has worked and what can improve going forward in the second half going forward from here too. Do stay tuned because we will be getting you a whole host of earnings conversations throughout the course of the day as we are now right in the middle and hundreds of companies on an everyday basis are reporting their earnings and we are getting you the best of the management voices right there to really help you understand what is the current sentiment within the corporate industry too. Many thanks for being with us. Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is the festive season special edition. Here's wishing all our viewers a very happy and prosperous Dhanteras and Diwali and the upcoming New Year as well. We hope that with Business Today Television, the time that you have spent learning about markets and speaking to top market masters, you were actually able to get onto the positive trajectory of investments. You've been able to start off that, and this is the best time to really revisit your portfolios to see whether you're going right and what can you do better for the upcoming new Samvat as well. And this is why we found out two of the best personal finance experts in India to really help you with your personal finance journey this festive season. Let me welcome on stage and on this show our guests on this panel. We have Mr. Pankaj Matpal. He's the founder and the managing director of Optima Money Managers, and we are also joined by Pooja Bhinde. She's the certified financial planner of PB Investments. Warm welcome to both of you, and thank you so much for taking the time out. And here's wishing you both a very, very happy and prosperous Dhanteras and Diwali. Let me start off by asking you, Mr. Pankaj Matpal, you've been a seasoned financial planner. We've been seeing so many years that you've been guiding so many of your followers, your clients, the viewers, across platforms, and how you've been guiding them to really get onto this wealth creation journey. Tell me, how is this festive season really different from all the festive seasons that you have seen so far? And what are the key learnings that one has to learn from you, the top personal finance expert of India?
Thank you very much, Sakshi. Happy Diwali to you. Happy Diwali to Pooja and all our viewers. See, first thing, we have seen a good rally in the market investors made good money in the market. But immediately before this festive season, we have seen some volatility in the market. That is another thing. So the learning is that you have to have patience when you invest in the market. That is one thing. Second thing is you should maintain asset allocation, because you cannot be dependent only one asset class. Every asset class has its own importance in the investment portfolio. And one important thing is that one should understand their risk appetite, investment horizon, and financial goals. And according to their financial plan, they should maintain the asset allocation in their portfolio.
Right. So, Mr. Patpal, there are a lot of investors who've jumped on the bandwagon of the investment journey over the last few years, especially after COVID. They have been just 3-4 years into the investment journey. Many of them have opened first-time demat accounts. Many of them have started doing SIPs for the first time. Some have also started doing stock markets as well for the first time as well. And this is the time that they're actually seeing that stock markets are falling like 9 pins for the first time too. So, they are also getting very nervous. They're not sure of how to handle or look at their portfolios, which have turned red completely. What would you advise the average retail investor who's looking at this volatile time for the first time?
Correct. Sakshi, see what happened during COVID, because everybody had plenty of time in their hands and they were best utilizing it. So that is why many investors first time they opened their demat account and started investing. And fortunately, market has rewarded these investors, though they were the first time investors, but they made money. Only thing is that they did not do much research, because markets were performing and they were thinking that they are the good investors. Now, immediately, as I mentioned now some time back, that immediately before this festive season, we have experienced a good correction in the market. Investors have to understand that this is the nature of market. See, equity market will never perform one-sided. This volatility is the nature of equity market. If you invested considering the rally in the market, for example, we have seen that many investors invested only in PSU stocks or defense stocks or in these funds, and they have seen the more fall in these categories compared to the broader market. Now, they have to understand, one, that they took a wrong decision. If you are investing only in a particular sector or in particular theme, then you have to understand the entry time and exit time. And now, anyway, if you have made a wrong decision also, thing is that how to correct your portfolio. You should invest in diversified funds. More allocation should always be diversified.